a kind of a recording of a screen under screenshot here, and I want to go over the presentation that you have coming up for measurements from start. Here we go. So the next unit is measurements. You know that the United States certainly is probably the biggest country that uses what's called the American system or the English system. We have inches and feet and pints and everything else in the world is metric. And honestly, I have converted myself that I like metric better than the English system. But we do have to know both. You're probably very fluent in the English system, but we do need some review when it comes to the metric system. As far as mass, this is really weight. You know a ton, it's 2,000 pounds, and I think you know a pound is 16 ounces and what a gram is and so forth. And the gram is universal, but I'm not sure you understand what kilograms are, and that's just 1,000 grams. Okay, and there is a conversion that goes from pounds to kilograms. Okay, so just to let you know, a kilogram is about 2.2 pounds. Okay, that's a kilogram. We're doing a lot of this because as we progress and you come back to school, we're going to get using these balances. Really not a scale. Don't call it a scale. It's a balance because you'll put your material here on the balance, and then you'll have to move the weights around to get it to balance, and then you'll have to read what's on there. In the case of this, I think if you can see it, it's 373 0.4 or something like that. Okay, but that's kind of when we get to these balances, I hope that you have enough prior knowledge that you can get going on these right away from this lesson. When it comes to volume, I think you know that there's gallons, quarts, pints, and cups, but you probably are not so familiar with milliliters, liters, and things like that. So kiloliters. So there's things that you need to kind of know. A kiloliter just means 1,000 liters and so forth. So we're going to go over this, but there are conversions. I'm going to give you a conversion sheet that you can either write down or print. We're just kind of going over this big picture here. When you put liquid into a vessel, it forms what's called a meniscus. And the reason why it does that is because the attraction for the liquid, water certainly does this, water and glass. The attraction for the water to the glass is stronger than the attraction of the water to itself. So when it sees the glass, it can either be against the glass or it can be with itself. And it says, I like the glass more. And it starts to climb up the walls. Okay, when it climbs up the walls, you have to understand that in order to measure it, if everybody's doing it the same, you don't measure the top of the meniscus, you measure the bottom of the meniscus. Okay, so you can see these test tubes here, they form a meniscus. Okay, it's concave, if you will. It looks like a cave and it goes down. As you see things in science and you see like centimeters cubed, I don't want you to get scared of centimeters cubed. 1 milliliter is just 1 cubic centimeter. So whenever you see a milliliter, it's also the same amount in cubic centimeters. Or if you see cubic centimeters, you can say that's the same amount in milliliters. We're going to watch this video here. It's interesting.
When you measure liquid, graduated cylinder. Put the cylinder on a flat surface first, then pour the liquid inside up to the volume you want in there. But you must remember, you want a very precise measurement. The volume of the liquid so exact. A pipette will help you with that, but there's something more. Something important you must look at. Look at the bottom, the bottom, the bottom, the bottom of the meniscus, the meniscus, the meniscus. You can see a curve at the top of the liquid. Its shape is concave and not straight. There's a reason it's curved, it's because the liquid's molecules. The molecules have a very strong attraction for the sides of the cylinder, so the surface is curved downward. That's the spot you look at. The meniscus, the meniscus, the meniscus. Look at the bottom, the bottom, the bottom, the bottom of the meniscus, the meniscus, the meniscus. Look at the bottom, the bottom, the bottom, the bottom of the meniscus, the meniscus, the meniscus. Look at the bottom, the bottom, the bottom, the bottom of the meniscus, the meniscus, the meniscus. Look at the bottom, the bottom, the bottom, the bottom of the meniscus, the meniscus, the meniscus. Your measurement's done the right way. Look at the bottom of the shape that's concave. You'll be so precise when you measure liquids.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that. That's 3 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry. All right, so here we go. We've got to measure these graduated cylinders, and we have to look at the bottom of the meniscus, as well as we have to look at the number of measurements or increments that are between the given numbers. So I'm on the left here. Hope you can see my mouse moving. We have 10, right? And we have 20. We have 10 and we have 20. How many increments do we have between 10 and 20? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going by tens, and if there's 5, each one is 2. So let's check to make sure. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Very good. So we know each one of these is 2. The bottom of the meniscus is here at the first line, which is 10, 12. So there's 12 milliliters there. See, it says milliliters. Let's look at the next one. The next one is between 15 and 20. How many increments are between 15 and 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 numbers between 15 and 20, so each one has to be 1. Let's check to make sure. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. Each one of these is 1. The bottom of the meniscus falls at the first one. It's 16 milliliters. It says milliliters there. The next one is the same graduated cylinder as in cylinder 1. So each one of these is worth 2. Let's check to make sure. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So this would be 10, 12. The bottom falls right here at 14 milliliters. And number 4 is the same as number 2. Each one of these is 1. Let's check to make sure. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The bottom falls right here at 14 milliliters. That was volume. Let's talk about length real quick. I think you know that there's miles, there's yards, and there's feet in the English system, but I want you to know that there's kilometers, meters, and centimeters, and millimeters in the metric system. And if you want to know, there's 10 millimeters, 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, and there's 100 centimeters in a meter. You need to know that. How many millimeters in a centimeter? 10. How many centimeters in a meter? There's 100. The way you can remember centimeters in a meter is centa is like a century, and a century is 100 years. So when you say how many centimeters are in a meter, it's 100. Maybe that'll help you. Obviously, I think all of you can measure with a ruler, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult measuring in the metric system with centimeters and millimeters. So this is a metric ruler, and to me it's easier than the English system. A standard ruler that we have has 16 divisions. What I like about the metric system is there's only 10. It's a lot easier to do factors of 10 than it is factors of 16. So here we are with a centimeter ruler. There's obviously 5 centimeters, and then each one of these is 10. So it's 5, 6, right? I'm sorry, 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. This would be 5.5, right? 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, and 6. It falls right here, the end of this screw. So it's 5.1. Here's a crayon, starts at 0, make sure you know where it starts, goes to 7.1. Very good. That's the end of the video. Thank you.